going to be studying. Oh, sorry. Let us adopt the minutes. Who is going to move the adoption? Okay, two of you. Mr. Jegwata is moving while Lillian Wachuku. Are we? Is that Lillian? Right. He's seconding. So, we are still at Matthew chapter 10. We stopped at verse 10. So we're going to resume at verse 11. We are continuing the passage about how Jesus sent out the 12 on their own, sent them on mission. Send the 12. We call them the 12 with a capital T, or the 12 apostles. So on sending them, Jesus gave them a number of instructions. How they were to travel and what they were to do. They were to do two things: to preach and to heal. And he empowered them to do that. Gave them the power even to cast out demons. So the same things that he himself was doing, he empowered them to do. So when we come to verse 11, we read this. Jesus said to them, "When you come to a town or a village, look for a worthy person and stay with him until you leave." I don't know. Well, they must have had some kind of hotels and guest houses in those days. In the story of Bethlehem, we heard that, read that when Joseph and Mary arrived in Bethlehem, they could find no place in the inn. So in those days, they would have had these guest houses that were known as inns, not to be compared with our modern day hotels. They're probably very simple places where they gave you a room and a bed, and then you had to cook your own meals and provide for yourself otherwise. But the apostles were not to stay in any of these guest houses. They were rather to stay with people. Some of the people they were going out, look for someone worthy in that place and stay with him. We are not told how they would recognize someone worthy that they could stay with. Okay, at this time, I don't believe that there were already disciples in every town that they were to go to. Maybe in some of the places they were going to, there might already be some disciples there. And they could stay with those ones. What about the places that didn't have disciples yet? In any case, they were to look for someone worthy. How they would recognize that worthy person, we are not told. Okay? They were to stay there, and they were not to leave until they left the town. They left that town. So presumably, the apostles would go to different towns. I don't believe that all 12 of them went together. Indeed, Mark and Luke tell us that they went in twos. In twos. If 12 people arrived in a house, it will be difficult to accommodate them. But it will be a lot easier to accommodate only 2 people, 2 men. Good. So that was how they were to provide for their stay, by looking for someone worthy who could take them in and harbor them until they left that particular town or city. Now, as you enter the house, wish it peace. If the people in the house deserve it, your peace will be on them. If they do not deserve it, your blessing will come back to you. So the apostles were going to get free accommodation. In return, they were to give something. And what they were to give was peace. Peace to that family. Now, that word peace in the Bible is not what peace means nowadays. Nowadays, when you talk about peace, you are talking about the absence of tension. Peace in the home, a home that doesn't have tension, a home where there is harmony. On the larger scale, like at national level, when you talk about peace, you are talking about the absence of war, of violence. Now, in the Bible, the meaning of peace was well-being. Well-being. Spiritual well-being and material well-being. So, that was what they were to wish those houses that they entered into. Nowadays, when we Catholic priests visit a home to perform any religious exercise, maybe to give communion to the sick, or the anointing of the sick, or to bless a new apartment or building, the first thing we are required to say is, peace be to this house and to all who dwell in it. Those are the first words we say upon stepping inside the house. Peace be to this house and upon those who dwell in it. That is coming from this passage, this instruction that Jesus gave to the 12 apostles. That's what we are continuing today when we visit, because Catholic priests today are the ones who are continuing the mission of the 12 apostles. Now, the next thing that Jesus says is that if the people in the house deserve it, your peace will be on them. I have a problem here. You said they should look for someone worthy, and stay with him. Presumably, someone worthy should deserve peace. He should be a good person. But perhaps in the household, maybe not everybody will be worthy. If they say stay with someone worthy, obviously in many cases, the person would have a wife and children, maybe other relations staying with the person. So even though the person himself might be worthy, there could be others within the household who were not worthy. So the peace will stay with those who are deserving of the peace and not on those who do not deserve it. This is quite a difficult thing coming from Jesus. Why would we deny peace, well-being to anyone? If someone does not deserve it, maybe our wishing them peace will make them better persons. But it's a bit difficult. It's not too easy to interpret. I'm sure Jesus had his reasons for saying it, for asking his disciples or telling them what he said. If they do not deserve it, your blessing will come back to you. So, blessing, that's another word for peace. Blessing. So that peace that they wish the home means blessing for that home. That is spiritual blessing, material blessing. Good. And if some house or town will not accept